Hello, my name is James Aspessi, and I will be presenting to you a book review on Powerful Conversations, How High-Impact Leaders Communicate by Phil Harkins. This review was done in part by James Aspessi, Patricia Brinkley, James Capaldo, Daniel Griffith, Mayelin Rodriguez, and Laurie Schweitzberger. Phil Harkins is the President and Chief Executive Officer of Linkage, Inc., an organizational development company to Fortune 500 firms. For the last 30 years, he has been studying leadership, from proving theories about effective communication to development of communication tools. His book, Powerful Conversations, is a useful guide for leaders and managers who wish to master powerful conversation technology. The book is divided into 3 sections. Part 1, Defining Powerful Conversations. Part 2, Practices of Powerful Conversations. And lastly, Part 3, Appendix, which contains a series of practical tools in order to practice and master powerful conversations. Powerful conversations are defined as an interaction between people that express shared feelings and beliefs, progresses to an exchange of wants and needs, and closes with clear action steps and mutual commitments. Someone using powerful conversations are always doing 3 things: advancing an agenda, sharing learning, and strengthening relationships. Powerful conversations create clarity. Typically, when people communicate, there are various factors that create barriers of uncertainty, which result in an unclear message. Some factors that contribute to an unclear message are people's moods, energy level, and personalities. Having a powerful conversation allows leaders to push through these factors and communicate a clear message. Great leaders maximize their interactions with people to establish and accomplish clear goals. These great leaders do this by using powerful conversations, and they are known as high-impact leaders. High-impact leaders are the ones others want to follow, and they use powerful conversations to maximize their interactions with people. What makes these leaders unique is that they foster a strong bond of trust between team members. What links powerful conversations and high-impact leaders is what Harkins calls say and do concept. He argues that high-impact leaders follow through on what they say on a consistent basis, which builds trust among the team. Additionally, these high-impact leaders do not do things they have not first spoken about. There are 3 stages to a powerful conversation. Stage 1. An agenda is set by a sincere expression of need. By doing this, it shows the other person that the agenda set is an important one, and it also shows a request for help and contribution. Stage 2. Issues or roadblocks that face the agenda are discussed. A high-impact leader will hone in on other person's wants or needs. By uncovering this, the high-impact leader is able to see the goals of the other person that must be met in order to achieve their own agenda. In this stage, hidden agendas are sniffed out by the high-impact leader. And lastly, stage 3, a strong closing is the final step where the high-impact leader ensures that all participants know exactly what needs to be done in order to achieve the set agenda. This is where clarity is most important. Leaders Talk is one young boy's simple understanding of what CEOs do all day. However, high-impact leaders don't just talk, they have been found to engage others in 5 distinct types of powerful conversations that are instrumental in attaining defined goals and objectives. These powerful conversations are defined by 5 measurable and dual capacity traits that are commonly found among high-impact leaders. The first powerful conversation actualizes strategy and is grounded in the leadership trait of focused drive, which is a straightforward balance of focus and drive. The second powerful conversation brings stability and is based in the leadership trait of emotional intelligence, revealing both perception and emotional maturity. Next, the third powerful conversation builds trust and is supported by the leadership trait of trusted influence, which manages both commitment and empowerment. Following this, the fourth powerful conversation drives ideas and is built upon the leadership trait of conceptual thinking, which blends both innovation and big picture thinking. Finally, the fifth powerful conversation serves to systemize and is founded on the leadership trait of systems thinking, which is a balance of both process orientation and mental discipline. Bad conversations are tremendously damaging to individuals and organizations. Harkins refers to this as the swamp. Bad conversations are destructive, they leave people frustrated, exhausted, and distrustful. So where do they go wrong? Bad conversations go wrong when there is no agenda, learning, or relationships. Characteristics of bad conversations include unclear or poorly expressed or understood content, unfocused content or too many facts, wants, and needs, frequent interruption and rising frustrations, and lack of participation and poor listening. Bad conversations can be turned around for positive results by following the subsequent steps. 1. Dropping the agenda. 2. Validating issues and feelings. 3. Creating a list of issues and problems. 4. Confirming the list. 5. Starting with the last thing on the list. 6. Building up the issue. 7. Holding up the mirror. And lastly, 8. Leaving the swamp behind. Leaders routinely face hard situations, often leading to difficult conversations. According to Harkins, the rules for succeeding in having difficult conversations are expressing compassionate feelings with sincerity, confronting fear with confidence, asking clearly what is wanted and needed, offering and commanding support, direction, and focus, and making it crystal clear how everyone can win. Preparing for a difficult conversation involves scripting the conversation and having difficult conversation in stages. High-impact leaders build trust because it is an asset they can leverage and deploy as a competitive advantage to create bottom-line results. Chapter 6 answers 3 primary questions. What is trust and how does it work? How is trust built? And how is trust lost and rebuilt? Trust is the currency of leadership. It is rooted in the very essence of why people follow other people. The lack of trust spells trouble, especially when trust is low. Decision-making comes easy when there is trust and rapport. Rapport grows when there is trust. It's developed through a relationship of conversations of concerns and hopes and dreams. Powerful conversations begin with a connection like a rainbow. A rainbow has 2 sides. On each side, there is a promise and commitment. In order for people to understand one another and to make these commitments, they have to be able to take the chance to say what they feel, need, and want. When the rainbow connects, then there is rapport. When trust is broken, then decisions are made with powerful conversations. High-impact leaders value trust as a tool for achieving organizational goals. As described in the diagram, there are 4 C's of trust: caring, commitment, clarity, and consistency. Caring. How leaders deepen relationships by respecting and taking everybody seriously. By truly caring, leaders demonstrate this by what they do and say. Commitment. How leaders follow through. By having believability, leaders ascribe to another's promises or commitment. Clarity. Leaders need to avoid ambiguity and misunderstanding. Leaders need to be aware of how a message is received and interpreted by others. Leaders cannot afford to be unclear in their communication if they hope to cultivate trust. And lastly, consistency. Leaders need to convey and reinforce the establishment of messages, goals, and rewards. It is a living, breathing thing requiring repeated demonstrations of communication in order to build trust. The 3 levels of trust are important and easy to understand. We have often heard the saying, "I trust them to an extent." Through actions and behaviors, these levels are interconnected. The first level, commitment. It's a professional trust. The act of commitment builds trust, and the act of breaking it reduces trust. The next level is loyalty. It's the personal trust. Personal trust presumes that a relationship already lives up to the commitments of professional trust. And then level 3, belief. It's the highest level of trust. It's the ability and willingness to demonstrate, live a shared set of beliefs, and have a total trust commitment. High-impact leaders create total trust by having a living commitment to their employees and setting an example. Trust takes time to build, but can be taken away overnight. As described in the diagram, the avenue of pain maps the actions that break trust and the personal feelings that arise as a result. The further down the avenue of pain one goes, the more difficult it is to regain or rebuild trust. Trust takes time to build and can be taken away overnight. Rebuilding trust is a long and sometimes painful process. Powerful conversations aim to rebuild trust and start with an acknowledgement of the damage and the resulting pain. When trust has been destroyed, there will be naturally strong doubt as to the viability of future commitments. The process of rebuilding the elements of professional trust begins with the commitments that starting the conversation in the first place. Communication is heralded as the gateway to change. A high-impact leader starts by mapping a change strategy and conducting deliberate, powerful conversations with people that can further their vision and mission. A high-impact leader must have the ability to connect with all levels of management and influence cultural organizational-wide. They target conversations at senior leadership, directors, managers, supervisors, and employees. In order to communicate with individuals on all levels of management, several qualities have been identified that high-impact leaders possess. High-impact leaders spend time and listen to employees. They learn what makes them get involved and committed, information that paves the way for a successful transition. They have a caring persona, and their direct way of communicating clearly informs people about their commitment and expectations of others. Promises made by these leaders are written down and kept. They literally try to do what they say they will do. The overall impact of this is people in the organization will learn to trust that things will and are changing. Keeping everyone in the organization informed about progress and change is important. However, too much information may be confusing and slow the progression of change. Throughout this journey, the high-impact leaders must remain open to diversity. They accept opposing opinions with respect and view this as an opportunity to learn information which may change a decision or a course of action. Once you have determined a change is necessary and built up a constituent group within the organization, how do you go about implementing the agenda for change? Follow the subsequent steps of change. Step 1. High-impact leaders begin by developing clear, achievable goals and defining the objectives for the project. The leader begins on a managerial level and explains what competencies, job skills will be required, set performance standards, and ensure each person understands how these align with the overall goals of the organization. On the employee level, the leader communicates how they can participate in meeting organizational goals and ensure they understand how their department goals align with the overall goals and objectives of the organization. Step 2. Senior leadership leads the change by defining tools and methodology that ensures structures are in place for the change to occur. Step 3. Managers are key agents for implementing organizational transitions. On a daily basis, they facilitate employee work efforts geared towards specific actions in meeting goals and objectives. Step 4. A business's core competencies are the unique characteristics or capabilities of the organization that make them different from other businesses and their competition in their marketplace. If core competencies are affected by the change, then training must be provided to employees so they know the organization will continue to deliver product with value to customers after the change has occurred. Ensuring important information is shared with employees enables the organization to be as competitive or more so once the change has been implemented. Step 5. All the steps are important to complete. However, if the right people are not in the right position during the change, the project will fail. In Step 5, passionate champions are important motivators during times of change. Passionate champions are defined as a change agent whose personal mission is to achieve very specific change-related goals and who create change in pursuit of his or her objectives. These individuals have initially agreed with the need for change and will assist with promoting your goals and objectives to ensure the change happens as long as they align with their own pursuits. They are able to rally those in the department to buy into the project, which further ensures success. Leaders and managers have different roles within the organization and during times of change. What differentiates their roles is the task they perform. Change will not occur successfully without leadership and management working together. High-impact leaders recognize passionate champions as a change agent who are the link between the organization embracing the change and achieving the corrective objectives of the agenda for change. They have been described as mavericks, thoroughbreds, missionaries, and when strategically engaged, will do whatever it takes to get the job done. Passionate champions will be assigned to specific change-related goals and objectives. They are well respected by coworkers, focused, and when committed to a project, are a tremendous motivator for making a vision become reality. These individuals normally are not in leadership positions. They do not entertain failure as an option, have the foresight to understand the planned strategy for change, and can communicate this to coworkers. Overall, the effect is a positive buy-in of the leader's strategy. High-impact leaders understand the value of passionate champions and realize these individuals can be the reason for success or failure of a project. To ensure success, high-impact leaders maintain close contact with these individuals inside and outside of the organization. Powerful conversations are conducted frequently regarding strategy to ensure the goals of the leader and the passionate champion continue to be aligned. In order to retain great people, managers must recognize who their top performers are. Once recognized, top performers need to be linked to organizational objectives. This will increase the chance that top performers will be retained. The failure to retain employees results in two types of turnover: planned and unplanned. Planned turnover is usually not a problem, but unplanned turnover may have a significant negative impact on an organization. Retention of employees begins in the recruitment stage by identifying satisfiers. These 6 satisfiers include job responsibilities, salaries in comparison to the market, career development opportunities, culture of the organization in comparison to employees' values, team acceptance of the employee, and whether or not the job will permit employees to balance work and personal life. During the interview process, the interviewee determines if any of these satisfiers are present, while the interviewer provides the potential employee that their organization has their satisfiers. This is done by building rapport with the interviewee. It is paramount for employers to be honest about what their organization has to offer. There must be a legitimate connection between interviewee and interviewer before the interviewee will provide their true beliefs and values. From there, the interviewer will be able to identify if the interviewee's values connect with the organization's values. Once values are matched, the employee will be hired, and then the process will transition to the retention of the employee over time. Overall, employees do not wish to leave their organization. They leave because something about their organization has left them dissatisfied. This dissatisfaction stems from one or more of 5 factors. These factors include confidence in the organization, emotions, trust, not fitting in, and listening. Employees need to feel confident with the organization's strategy in comparison to other organizations within the same market. Once confidence is lost, employees may want to jump ship. The determination to depart an organization does not always derive from facts, but emotions. Emotions stem from a lack of attention to the needs of an individual employees to include rewards, recognition, and personal development. The emotions result in employees losing their trust with an organization. The organization may have too many broken promises and commitments over a specific time frame. Once employees feel as though they have lost their value within an organization, employees believe they are no longer a good fit for the organization. Lastly, employees need to feel as though managers and fellow coworkers are listening to them. The most common reason why employees leave an organization is because they feel as though they are not being heard. Once their voice in an organization is gone, they are too. The proactive approaches listed here will ensure employers are better equipped to retain employees. In order to build confidence, managers must ensure they are linking their vision and strategies with the satisfiers of top performers. Subsequently, employers must ensure they are paying attention to top performers. This is accomplished through the use of powerful conversations. Employers must talk to employees to find out what motivates them. This will help retain top performers in the long run. By communicating with top performers, managers are able to build a foundation of loyalty and trust. They do so by making commitments to top performers and following through with them. This can be as simple as scheduling meetings with top performers on a regular basis and not canceling those meetings. Managers build upon that commitment by maintaining close personal relationships with their top performers. They must show that they care about each individual top performer and their input in the organization. This will entail knowing personal details about each top performer. Managers should know the families of top performers and what is important in their lives. These relationships are maintained through clear communication systems. Clear communication systems are established by ensuring that top performers are linked to what they need to know in order to do their job proficiently. Another key element of employee retention is instilling a strong voice of leadership within an organization. A strong voice of leadership is instilled within an organization through tone and content. It may take a few tries to get the message right, but it should be perfected before being relayed. The voice should represent the leader's values and objectives, which takes into account the input from employees. Once the voice of leadership is established, it should be provided to members of the organization in a consistent manner. The relay of the message will take place via speeches, memos, emails, and meetings. In essence, the voice of leadership should echo throughout an organization. Ultimately, it defines the organization and lets its employees know what the organization stands for. The voice of leadership also provides the strategic direction of where the organization is headed in the years to come. As the voice of leadership is developed over time, it will be paramount for leaders to repeat it often. This will ensure that it resonates with every employee within the organization. The connection between employees and the voice of leadership will build trust among employees. Employees will be able to make a clear connection between the message and what they do every day for the organization. This form of powerful conversation is one of many that have been provided throughout this book. The voice of leadership is another tool for leaders to use to ensure the employees of their organization know what the organization stands for and where it is going. The last section of the book contains the appendix, which focuses on tools that leaders should use to master conversations. The tools are planning, conducting, and measuring powerful conversations, the Tower of Power, the Leadership Assessment, the Trust Tool, the Change Tool, and the Retention Tool.